Hello everybody and welcome to my week 6 match versus Kirk. The team that he decided to bring is Naganadel, Mega Kangaskhan, Terrakion, Zygarde, Doublade, and Rotom Cut. If you have not watched the team builder, go back. It's the video right before this one. Watch the team builder. This is the team that I brought. And let's just get right into the match. So I decided to lead with my Uxie, and he does decide to lead with his Doublade. So Uxie was pretty much my lead because I needed rocks up, and outside of Rotom, he had no defogger. He had no hazard removal at all, actually. So I just decided to get my rocks up here. I said, worst case scenario, he ends up going for Swords Dance. Like, worst case scenario, he's a Swords Dance variant, and he Swords Dances up, right here. But in that event, had stuff in the back, like Mence and, Diancie with Earth Power, to try and beat this thing. And look what he does. He does set up the Swords Dance. So here's what I decided to do. I actually didn't know how Z Memento worked completely until right here. This turn would have been a free Swords Dance for him, but here's what happened. So, my original thought was, I use Z Memento, Uxie dies, the next one comes in, takes the hit, then heals itself. That's not how it works. Uxie dies, it attacks into nothing, and then I bring the next thing in. So I did not need to Z Memento right there. But I did need to Memento in order to take this thing back to neutral. And then I just go into Mega Diancie. And so I Earth Power to put this thing in range of Salamence. I'm fine with losing my Diancie. Because he brought a lot of things to beat it. Naganadel beats it. Kangaskhan beats it. Terrakion beats it. Doublade obviously beats it. Zygarde beats it with 1,000 arrows. Like, Diancie was just better for what he didn't bring versus what he did bring. So I felt semi-comfortable sacking Diancie right here because I knew I could bring in Salamence and threaten this thing out. And he does switch into Rotom. And because I thought he would switch in order to preserve his Doublade, because it is a win condition because it has Swords Dance, I feel free to just set up a Dragon Dance right here. And so I set up a second D-Dance as he ends up going for the Volt Switch, which leads me to believe he's probably a Scarf variant. And because Leaf Storm is quad resisted, it would be better for him to just Volt Switch out. Which he did, which was a good play on his part. But now I'm up to +2/+2, and I outspeed this Doublade. He just does what he can with the Shadow Sneak, and I do end up taking out this Doublade. And then my Moxie perks up. So in comes Zygarde, and because I outspeed, like, I have enough speed, that forces him to go for extreme speed. I mean, I was EV'd specifically to outspeed Zygarde anyway, but in this case, like, now that I had plus something, it forced him to go for the extreme speed, knowing that he had to do it in order to be faster. So he extreme speeds and just loses his Zygarde right here. So okay, we get up our next Moxie boost, and in comes his Kangaskhan. So I calced it, and a Fake Out for Mega Kangaskhan does 27 minimum, which I have 27. So if I want to keep my Salamence, I have to switch out right here. So I do end up switching out into Togekiss because Togekiss is prepared to deal with this thing. And he actually reveals the Sucker Punch. And that is the fact that he went for Sucker Punch versus going for Fake Out ends up being like that ends up being so important later in the match. So he brings in his Rotom to try and get like a Volt Switch or a Thunderbolt off or something like that. And so I take this opportunity to just Air Slash and try and flinch this thing down. He lives on 4, but he does get the flinch. Or I do get the flinch, so I am able to take out this Rotom because I also am Scarfed. And he ends up sending his Terrakion, so I have to I have to switch out, and my best answer to this is Keldeo. Keldeo takes 20-something, 30-something from Rock Slide, which is the most he could have done. And that Rock Slide did miss there. Overall, as you see, like, it doesn't really come into effect very much, as it only does 22%. And he does get the flinch right there. So that flinch makes up for him missing. Because he is allowed a second Rock Slide right here. And then I can Scald, and because I am 252 special attack, I knock this thing out with a Scald after Stealth Rocks, which I do end up doing. It was so important that I got my rocks up. And now he ends up sending in his Naganadel. And because I can't really hit this thing very hard, I just decide to sack off my Salamence. And he ends up getting a speed boost. So, what this allows him to do is outspeed my Scarf Togekiss, which is my answer to this thing. Psychic from Togekiss kills after Stealth Rocks. Like, it does a minimum 88, and he is 88, so no matter what, Psychic from Togekiss will knock him out. He did give me his spread afterward, and he was the spread that is this 88 min. He did have a little bit into HP, which I was surprised, but after, like, with his HP investment, Psychic did 88% at minimum, which KOs after Stealth Rocks 100% of the time. But he is +1, so Togekiss no longer outspeeds, and we take a Sludge Wave on 2%. Like I said, I did ask him for his spread afterward, and so this is it. Here's the Psychic roll. It does 88 minimum to 104. He was on 88. And then this is what his set was that he told me. 52 HP, 252 timid speed, because he had to be timid to outspeed his special attack stat in order to get the speed boost. And then the rest was into special attack. And then he did not say that he was a damage boosting item. So I just slapped something random on here. And so that means he was 204 special attack. So as you can see up here, I guaranteed lived that Sludge Wave, and I do get to fire off the Psychic and knock out his Naganadel. So as much as it looked like hacks that I lived, it actually wasn't. And then I just get damage off on this Kangaskhan. He goes for the Frustration, that's fine. Because what this allows me to do is, because I am Sash Kartana in the back, I am, with the Psychic damage, the crit did not matter. I just needed to get a Psychic off. It allowed me to then kill with Sacred Sword. So we end up knocking off once undefeated Kirk 2-0. So like I said, there were a lot of things in this match that looked like hacks that really weren't. So I do want to clarify that, because I don't like winning by hacks. I mean, I'll take it, but I don't like it. But I did want to make sure afterward that I wasn't, like, I didn't just win out of sheer luck. That's the thing that I feel like. I don't want to win just based off of sheer luck. I want to win based off of myself making plays that put myself in a position to win. And I did that. Like, I could have gone into Keldeo, and maybe I could have taken the Frustration. Maybe I couldn't have. Could have tried to preserve the 3-0, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to make sure I won. And that was keeping Kartana's Sash intact. So we do end up picking this win 2-0. And this now puts us at 2-4 on the season. So if we win 3 of our last 4 games, and so if I go 3-1, he has to go 1-3. If I go 4-0, he has to go 2-2 in order for me to make playoffs. So I'm not out of it yet, but it doesn't look likely. And I actually, I play the commissioner next week, Cameron. So that is going to be fun. And then my last 3 weeks are basically the reverse order of my divisional opponents. So I played Zone first, and then I played Jerome, and then I played Chew. Those were my first 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks of the season are my divisional opponents again, those 3, but in reverse. So after I play the Commissioner, Cameron next week, I play Chew the week after, and then Jerome, and then I end the season versus Zone. So that is going to be it for this video. Playoffs are still alive, though unlikely, and I've already doubled my win total goal that I've set for myself. Remember, at the beginning of the season, I said I wanted to get 1 win because I wanted to at least do something right. So I have now doubled that. I'm very, very happy. Like, I will be content with this season as a whole, but I'm still going to try and push for playoffs. Which, I mean, they don't look likely, but hey, you never know. So I will see you guys next week. I'll be back next week with our Week 7 match versus Cameron. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.